Extreme TT RPG News. 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 Yeah, Extreme TT RPG News. Extreme TT RPG News. And the world's most awesome TT RPG. These little masters are learning how to lead. When the wizards of the ghost attack, these TTRPG boys have got up no slack. Extreme! Extreme! News that is extreme! TTRPG power!
Well, hey folks, it's your old pal King Waspinator. Welcome back to Total Party Skills. I've offered this theory before, going back quite a ways, at the beginning of a lot of these marketing trends that have emerged over the last decade, and when people were, still too dismissive of, the idea that, there's anything nefarious going on in the background. And I myself am not even necessarily advocating for the idea that there's actually a nefarious plan at work here. But in terms of why people like Gary Gygax and Arneson and other, founding members of that original cabal of nerds that made D&D and the role-playing game hobby itself, why Wizards of the Coast feels this need to, on DriveThruRPG, put big labels on all the old legacy titles from the TSR days, saying about how everyone was a bunch of terrible racists back then, and you might not want to actually read this, it might corrupt your thinking, you should check out one of our brand new books instead. Kind of stuff going on. It's basically just the same marketing trick they were using on my generation and the generations kind of surrounding my age group. Think back to the days, imagine you're a 90s kid or a 90s teenager and you're watching some Saturday afternoon television, little Batman, the animated series, or some Freakazoid or something, and then the commercials will be on and it'll be whoa kids, fucking extreme bro, your parents are just so lame and square they'll just never understand what it's like to be a cool young dude drinking Sunny D.
Yeah! Fuck you, Mom, and drink Sunny D!
Delicious Sunny Delight. Fuck you, Mom.
The modern version of that is like, whoa, man, you don't want to be playing your grandfather's versions of Dungeons and Dragons. That was all lame and bigoted. You need to read our new Strixhaven book so you can pretend that you're in a lesbian elf college. Yeah! It's just marketing techniques. It's a way for them to engage the youth, engage that youthful rebellion tick that can be marketed to so well. It's a way to label the old version of the thing as uncool and slightly forbidden. Don't look at that. It's bad. It was made by bad people. But don't worry. Instead of ignoring this product that was made by bad people, we've rewritten it and rebranded it. So now you can enjoy it in all of its glory. It's a marketing trick. That's all this has ever been. Which means that underneath all the various accusations of this and that, it's still just a fucking ploy to sucker money out of children. Or more accurately, it's more of a ploy to get children to sucker money out of their parents that they can then give that money to the people making these books. It's just teen rebellion in its modern form.
We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
And while I still have you here, if you're looking for more of a tongue-in-cheek version of the Star Trek stereotype, might I suggest We Want Soviet Men, where you can play as comrades on your comrade starship, exploring the stars. It's a source book for Escape from Planet Matriarchy, the very first original Total Party System rulebook, where players take on the roles of 20th century astronauts who are shot 500 years into the future to crash land on the moon of Titan to discover the nightmare society that has evolved there, both of which can be found in the Vintage Future RPG, available now on Amazon.com in print or DriveThruRPG for a PDF.
We now return to our program in progress.
There's probably also a bit of an angle of the self-consciousness that Wizards of the Coast and by extension Hasbro has over the fact that this very popular thing that they own, that's the iconic original version of this whole hobby industry, is something that they themselves didn't make. You know, so go figure they kind of just are so dismissive of the people who emerged in the 70s to just make D&D, you know, and in spite of all their terrible bigotry. It's a way to disenfranchise the original D&D, so that only their version is the only legitimate Dungeons and Dragons, because it's the only one that's not bigoted. And, you know, 20 years from now, when we've gone through a whole other generational shift, who knows what future Wizards of the Coast, probably owned by Taco Bell at that point, judging by how the timeline's going. So who knows how Taco Bell is going to want to market Dungeons and Dragons to that generation of kids. You know, for one thing, it's going to be an Eritrean, and, I don't know, I guess I'll just leave it at that. Stay waspinated.
Extreme TTRPG news. It's the news for TTRPG. That's so fucking extreme. Get your extreme TTRPG news. Gary Gygax is alive. They're making it up to steal again. These colonious bastards won't take this hobby from me. Extreme TTRPG news. It's the news that's extreme and about TTRPG.
Oh, fucking extreme!